Well, hello everyone. Welcome to an episode of Explore. Today, we're going to kind of be talking about what's going on in the news right now. And for those of you that might live under a rock, Russia has invaded Ukraine, and they are under severe attack. So with me today is Kevin Haggerty, and he is wearing a Ukraine hat because... You just visited.
Yeah, we just got back 5 months ago, and I actually got this hat in Kiev, Ukraine. And for people that don't know, this is the symbol of Ukraine, and what it is here's the mother, here's the father, and in the middle is the child that they're kind of cradling, and that's where the symbol comes from. And then, of course, you have the Latin Ukraine on the side there. But yeah, so we got this. We just got back 5 months ago. It's the second time I've been to Ukraine, actually. The people over there are democracy, America-loving people. I mean, very peaceful. Some of the best people I've honestly ever met in my life. And we haven't slept a lot in the last few days because we're up late at night texting our friends over there, seeing how they're doing, making sure they're still alive, seeing, are there bombs going off near you, are you taking up arms, things like that. So it's been a pretty terrible time.
So how has the conversation with your friends been? Are they okay? Have some of them taken up arms?
Right. So a lot of them are just really, really scared. But then also, like, the flip side of that is they're such a patriotic people. I would equate them with something like West Virginians or Texans, right? We're very nationalistic for our state.
Yes.
And that's exactly how the entirety of Ukraine really and truly is. Because I'll text them and I'm like, are you going to get out of the city? And all of them are saying, no, we will fight to the last. We will fight until there is no more Ukrainians left, which, I mean, you can't help but respect anybody who's willing to do something like that, for their country. And so that's how a lot of them are doing. And I was telling, was it last night? It was last night or the night before, one of my friends over there, who was actually, we got acquainted because he was our cab driver. And
okay.
He was a cab driver that didn't rip us off. He actually gave us a good, because he loved Americans, right? And so he spoke very good English, and he was, cursing out the Russians the entire time we were there, which, of course, I'm pro-Ukraine and anti-Russia, even before the invasion of Ukraine. Yeah. So that's how we got acquainted, kind of. And so I was messaging him, and I was like, are you okay? And he sent me a message back saying, for now, okay. Essentially, he was going to take up arms against the Russian invaders. And he said, if something happens to me, is there anything, like, please try to help my family? Which was one of the most heartbreaking messages I've ever personally received. And obviously at this point, like, what can we do? And so we got in contact with another person we know, another friend that we have over there, who is actually our tour guide to Chernobyl. I've been to Chernobyl twice. And she is phenomenal.
Which, as of right now, the Russians hold Chernobyl.
Russians have taken over Chernobyl, and I think that is largely just because it's a worldwide known place, right? But also for strategy.
Makes it sound good.
Yeah, but also for, exactly. And also for strategy, right? Because Ukraine's not going to shell Chernobyl, because if you hit the plant, then... Yeah. All of Europe and Russia's pretty much gone from the nuclear, fallout that would occur from that. But we messaged her. We're like, hey, how can we help from the U.S.? How can we help from, internationally? So she sent back a link, and it's on my personal Facebook page. Please check it out. Just look me up, Kevin P. Haggerty. Okay. And on that page, there's a way that you can donate directly to the Ukrainian military because they're not getting a whole lot of support from obviously the West, and they kind of feel like they're isolated because they are. They're only getting weak sanctions from us. Russia's backed by the China banks, so it doesn't really matter the sanctions that the Biden administration has put into place so much. So this is a way that you can actually directly help fund the Ukrainian military and the resistance there, because they're running out of, ammunition. They're running out of weapons. They're arming civilians, but I mean, how many weapons do you have to arm these civilians with? And they're all, like I said, very proud people. They will have no problem picking up arms, but they need to have the arms and the ammunition to actually take a battle.
That.
Yeah.
And so they can go onto your Facebook page. There's a direct link, so you can check that out. That's very good.
Yeah.
But we have to realize that, even if you don't have a lot of money, what even $1 means in their currency.
You're absolutely correct. Yeah. So currently, as it stands, one United States dollar is equivalent to 29 hryvnia. So $1 over there goes a long way, just from, us personally going there, right? We'll get like a very fancy dinner and like a 3-4 course fancy dinner. We'd have, a pint of beer apiece, like Hoegaarden or something like that. And the bill for 3 people would be like $14 United States, and they would like almost cower. They'd feel bad for giving you a $14 bill. And meanwhile, you're like, but $14 is like nothing for all this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like your dollar goes a lot. So even if you contribute like $5, like that would be super helpful. And I know they would appreciate it.
We have friends, actually, we went on a missions trip to Romania, which is the bordering country of Ukraine. We've been in contact with our friends, the Chichuis, over in Romania. And we've been like, how are you guys holding up? And they're like, just pray. We're getting ready for an influx of refugees from Ukraine, hoping to be able to house them. But then they've said, is it going to stop at Ukraine? Are they going to come over? Because Romania was a communist country at one time.
Yeah.
They are now part of the EU.
Yeah.
But you don't know where it's going to stop. So and it's affecting a lot of people in that region.
The whole region, absolutely. Yeah. And like you said, your Romanian friends, I hope to God not, but it's very possible they could be next because, they're already harboring Ukraine refugees. They're exiting, Kiev and other major cities, Lviv, places like that on the west. So it's very possible that they will actually need to be harbored themselves sometime in the future, which is, just a heartbreaking thought to even think about, but it's a very real one whenever you see that it is an unprovoked attack on civilian life. What is happening in Ukraine right now? They're bombing kindergartens, tanks are running over civilian cars. I mean, you have all this, travesty, and it was completely unprovoked. And what's to say that, given the West hasn't responded strongly whatsoever, in my humble opinion, what's to say they're not going to continue to go on? Neville Chamberlain during World War II, he essentially allowed Hitler to move west and move west and move west. And it wasn't until we got Winston Churchill as the leader of the UK who actually put a strong stop to that and actually started to fight back. And I'm not saying I'm like, yay, we need to put United States troops in Russia or in Ukraine, but at the same time, some harder sanctions, blocking their banking system, things like that, would, I think, at least delay them if they were to move west into Romania and other places like that.
And I guess kind of the crux of this whole problem is it's the fight over Ukraine. Russia says the hard line is you're not become I can get it out. Become a part of NATO.
Yeah.
And of course, NATO is actively recruiting Ukraine.
Right.
And so you've got the two kind of butting heads over it. And so as of right now, Ukraine is not part of NATO.
Right.
So it's like.
So now it's safe for Russia to go in because they're not a part of NATO, because NATO alliance won't fight back, essentially, which is what you're saying. But yeah, that's exactly right. And, Russia, in my opinion also, and I think it's backed by some evidence, they want the USSR to be a thing again, right? They haven't been a thing since 1991, so they want to reclaim their old territories. So to your point of, will they go back into Romania or other places like that? Well, that's essentially what they're doing here. The NATO thing is an excuse, absolutely, because they tried to say, well, we don't want NATO to border Russia. In reality, you have countries like Estonia and Lithuania and Latvia that are a part of NATO, and they already border Russia right? So, that's kind of a poor excuse if that's the one you're going with, when in reality, like I said, I believe they just want to recapture the old USSR. So
he wants to bring it back to its former glory. I think that's always been a main thrust for Putin. He kind of wants that again. Of course, when you have China flooding money into
Russia,
it makes it very difficult.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for coming in and discussing a very pertinent topic to right now. We do appreciate it. Once again, Kevin P. Haggerty, that is the Facebook page, and you're not donating to him. No. It's just the link is on his Facebook page. Maybe you can pin it to the top.
I will, yes. I will reshare it and make sure it's at the top. It's a very, like I said, it's a personal issue to me. So, I would very much appreciate, as I know the Ukrainian people would very much appreciate any donation, even if it is just $5, because wonderful people once again, and it's heartbreaking.
Okay, and so this will be on all the Explore pages, and what we'll try to do is we'll try to put the link in the comments of the Explore pages also. So thank you once again for spending time with me and talking about Ukraine. And that is it for now. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. We are on YouTube and Rumble and Facebook. That is Explore Hardee County, Grant County, Pendleton County, Hampshire County, Mineral County, Tucker County, and Randolph County. There they all are. So you'll be able to see this on any of them. Thanks, guys.